What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good morning, everybody, and a very happy Sacred Sunday to you. I am Love Coach Scott Katamas, and welcome to the Awakening World. And it is our anniversary weekend. We had a beautiful show last night, and I want to welcome all of you that watched last night's show and all of you that are with us today. And a big hello to those of us in the Zoom room. A lot of my favorite people are here. And I also want to welcome those of you that are watching on Facebook and on YouTube and on our new broadcast partner, Humanities Team, with Steve Farrell and Neil Donald Walsh. Now, it's great for those of you that are watching on one of those other platforms, but what's even more fun is to come join the Global Peace Tribe. And it's really easy to do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com. And when you get there, you can learn all about the show, all about the different things that we do. You can scroll around. We're going to have the Twin Ray on in a few minutes. And click register for the new season. Click register for the new season. That takes you to our registration page. And we do 3 or 4 shows every week. And they're all wonderful. And they're all interesting. And they all feature co-hosts like today's co-host, Maria Love. And some of the other people you see here, Kristen Hoffman, Larissa Stowe, Tangela, and of course, Trish Wright. And for example, these are the shows for this week. And on Wednesday night, we had a wonderful show all about understanding epigenetics while also honoring our ancestors. And Maria was co-hosting and teaching about epigenetics. She knows a lot about that. And we also had the great Geraldine Orozco, and Maria's partner, Carrie Bailey, was with us. And always our house musician, Omar Shar, who's with us today, of course. And then the special anniversary weekend. And then next week, our shows include topics such as sacred sexuality, angelic forces, spirituality and politics. And so it goes. So join the Global Peace Tribe. You'll get the Zoom links to all of our shows for the remainder of this season, which goes all the way through June 30th. So come and join us. All right, well, I've mentioned her a couple times. I am really blessed to have back one of my favorite co-hosts, Maria Love, is with us. Hello.
Hello, great to be here, Scott, and with you and Omashar and the whole tribe.
Yeah.
It's been just such a fun ride as we reflect on the last year and the 3 years with the Global Peace Tribe and the Awakening World Show. I only became aware of all of this last June through Soul Search. So it's just been fun to be part of this and just to help grow the movement and be part of this incredible family. So thank you for having me. And it's always a pleasure to be here to co-host and be with everyone. And to be here twice in 1 week is just such a gift. So thank you.
Thank you. And um, last night we had so much going on. I wasn't able to read as many comments as I would have liked. So I want to invite those of you in the Zoom room, share with us your favorite moments or what the Awakening World or the Global Peace Tribe or Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe has meant to you. Pop it in the chat box. And this time, Maria and or myself will read those comments, I promise. Because I really want to hear from you. And we're going to have more opportunity to hear from our audience today, Maria.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's always so fun when it's so interactive and we can answer questions and receive each other's hearts and input. Thank you.
Absolutely. And yes, Susan, we are planning on the movement continuing, but we need all of you guys to bring in more people. We got to grow our Global Peace Tribe. That's really important. I want to acknowledge that our beautiful, beloved brother Omashar is here with us as our co-pilot.
Hello. Namaste.
We're going to hear at least 2 musical numbers from Omashar today. And I'm going to play, we've got a couple of guests that might drop on in. And I'm also going to play just some highlights, some special moments from our time together. And the very first opening meditation that I'm going to share is with the Twin Ray. And, you know, for myself, really the greatest part of this whole experience of doing all these shows have been the people that I've met. Of course, meaning people that I absolutely love, that I've become so close to, like Maria, Omashar, Kristen Hoffman, Larissa Stowe. And the Twin Ray are also a real blessing in my life, and I think in the lives of those of us who have chosen to connect with them. They've been on the show 23 times since their very first appearance on Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. And I've been blessed to really become friends with them. And last night, they worked closely with Kristen Hoffman. They met Kristen through our show, and they love Kristen. In fact, Kristen's working with Shekinah Ma on an album. They're doing recording together. And so last night at the end of our show, Kristen, of course, did a beautiful opening song, which I missed because my internet went out. But then after the show, I watched it, loved it, sent her a message, and then I forwarded the show to the Twin Ray and said, hey, if you get a chance, watch the opening song by Kristen. And I got a beautiful text message from them just a few minutes ago, just before we went on, saying, oh my God, we watched not only Kristen's song, but we skimmed through much of your show. And it was a 3-hour show last night. And they wished us well. So there's special Twin Ray blessings for our show today. And I decided that what I want to do is something I've never done before. I'm actually going to play the same meditation 2 weeks in a row. In fact, I don't think I've ever repeated anything 2 weeks in a row. But because the Twin Ray are such an important part of our tribe, and I was so touched when they sent that text this morning and that they actually took the time to watch last night's show. I thought, you know what? There's no meditation that touches me more deeply. This is the meditation that I listen to quite frequently in the morning when I want to drop in. So we are going to start with the same meditation that some of you heard last week from our beloved Twin Ray, as a way of honoring and acknowledging them. And again, they've been on our show 23 times. And you know, you could always go to our YouTube channel and just type in Twin Ray and all the different shows they've done. You can pull up. It's a great way to kind of catch up on some of them or any of your other favorite luminaries. And immediately after this meditation, Omashar is going to play an opening song. Remember to move and groove to the music. We don't have our beloved Eleanor Joy with us. She warned me that she had other plans this weekend. So Reverend Jeffrey, we're going to be counting on you to lead the dance for the opening music, and I'm sure Maria and the rest of you will jump in as well. All right, here we go with a lovely meditation from our beloved Twin Ray.
Take a moment and just turn your eyes inwardly into your heart, to the center of your heart. Beautiful expression of the divine that's living and beating inside you. And take a breath into the center of that heart, and as you exhale, just relax your body. It's relaxing in to this moment, letting all of the week just fall away, all of the day just drop to the wayside, and all that remains is the presence of your pure, beating heart. And just take a moment to contemplate and to feel this statement, this sharing, that you are the miracle of divine love. You, in this moment, in this life, you are the miracle of divine love.
For it were not for divine love, you would not be here. You are the very miracle that divine love made in manifest form.
Letting go of all thoughts about your personal experience, your story, your person. Just let that all go as well, and just be present. That one truth, that you are the miracle, divine love. Your very existence, the very front of this experience of your life is the miracle. And that awareness, that pure awareness, that moment before the thought arises, but that pure witness, that is the very source of love. Just allow yourself to be present in that purity that you are. No matter what the mind thinks, no matter what the mind may project or judge throughout its time, turning your mind and your awareness inwardly to your heart, the true nature and the spark of divinity that allows you this very precious gift, the incarnation, this very breath of spirits that sustains you in this moment. Contemplate that and allow that contemplation to open up more inside you throughout this show, throughout tonight. Allow that contemplation that you are divine love manifested, that your life is only possible because of divine love. And you are that miracle of divine love. And as you feel that, as you go deeper with that, allow yourself to acknowledge where you may not express that, where you may not choose to live that, and the powerful divine will that's been given to all humans. That free will is to choose love. And then you realize it's never a choice.
With every breath you take, you have the opportunity to choose love. You have the opportunity to open yourself right now 100% to the beauty and the bounty of divine love. For divine love, in its presence and in its witness, glorifies every particle of you. It upholds, uplifts, and gives in great cherishing love. An expression that is so deep within the makeup and the very fabric of your soul's essence. Divine love is what you are made of, and the miracles do not exist outside of you. They exist deep within the core of your heart. They open with the doors and the gateways by the purity of your righteous actions, your thoughts, your deeds, your virtues. Contemplate, do you allow divine love to truly envelop your essence? And do you choose to drop and dissolve everything that could disallow that experience? In this meditation, we invite you to choose with great vehemence and great conviction inside of you that you choose now to open, no matter what you've done, no matter what has been done to you, to that presence of divine love. For it shall never judge you. It shall never do anything but give and share the love of creation that you already are.
And the capacity for you to feel divine love, the depths of your being, how deep you feel love perfectly is exemplified by how much compassion you can give. The greater compassion that you can give to this world and to others and have for all of creation is the greater capacity to feel that love of truth that you are. And the beautiful thing with love, true, divine, perfect love, when you taste it, when you experience it, and you taste from the fountain of the true self, the supreme real and supreme reality. When you taste that, nothing else will ever do. And so we ask each one of you do you wish to taste the nectar of the miracle of your true nature? Do you wish to taste the miracle of divinity itself? Do you wish to drink from the fountain of God's grace? And if you wish that, all you need to do is surrender, surrender, and surrender.
And surrender some more.
And when you do, you'll be caught in the ocean of eternal bliss, eternal love. So may you feel that, and may you never forget that, and may you never forget who you truly are, what you truly are, and to show up from that knowing, because to know God is to love God, and to love God is to know God. And when you choose love over everything else, you take refuge in the presence of the Almighty. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
It's by thy grace that I see. It's by thy grace that I see. It's by thy grace that I see your holy name. It's by thy grace that I feel. It's by thy grace that I feel. It's by thy grace that I feel your holy name. Someday the day shall come when all the glory shall be thine. People will say it is yours, but I shall deny, not mine. It's by thy grace that I see. It's by thy grace that I see. It's by thy grace that I see your holy name. It's by thy grace that I feel. It's by thy grace that I feel. It's by thy grace that I feel your holy name. Someday the day shall come when all the glory shall be thine. People will say it is yours, but I shall deny, not mine. Allah, Jehovah, Brahma, Sadanamaha. 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 Peace to all, life to all, love to all, peace to all, life to all, love to all, your holy name, your holy name. Your holy name, your holy name. It's by thy grace that I see. It's by thy grace that I feel. It's by thy grace that I know your holy name. peace to all, life to all, love to all, peace to all, life to all, love to all, your holy name.
Well, that was fun.
Oh,
I love the Twin Ray, brother.
oh, I love you. Thank you so much. Let's just take a moment. The combination of what you just shared about helping us to really feel grace and all the different holy names, and what the Twin Ray remind us of, that it's all about remembering the divine love that we are, and then giving as much compassion to the world as we possibly can. And so as we celebrate our anniversary this weekend, and as we kind of listen to some of the different luminaries that we're going to see today, and as we practice light touch, which we're going to do today, let's remember those things, that it's all grace, and to have as much compassion as we possibly can. I want to acknowledge that my primary mentor, Marshall Rosenberg, taught me that if you really want to change the world, change your relationships. That's how we change the world, is by changing our relationships. You know, we don't have control over what Putin or Trump or Biden or anybody really does like that. We have total control of how we treat our children, our parents, our roommates, our friends, the person serving us coffee, or whatever it may be. That's where we have power. And if we can just see the divine, things that's evolved in the world, it says Omashar plays music, spotlighting those of you who have your cameras on and are moving to the music and are feeling the music. And isn't it beautiful to see the eternal beloved as Moretz, George Noble, as Lynn and Leaf, and all of you? Those are just the people who are right up in front of me. I'm not excluding or including anybody. Because that's the point, is that we all are the eternal beloved, experiencing itself fully as John and Maria and Jan and Jay and Deborah and Roger and Dia, Karen, Zasha, Nitya, Andrew, Connie and Andrew. So let's remember that as we look at each other. Let's see that divinity. Oh, the Twin Ray mentioned that. Okay. Gets in the way.
Your internet's a bit
When we were
spotty.
born and when we were little. And then as we get older, to discern, we start, in order to survive, mother, father, dog, cat. But then as we get older, then and it doesn't just become, but the judgment of that being bad or icky starts to come filled with judgment, that this person is evil or this is bad. We lose the ability to see the divinity in all. Anyway, I wasn't.
Your internet keeps cutting out, Scott.
Which I've listened to a dozen, so as I can hear it for the first time. And then Omashar, you beautiful, beautiful song. With that, I am, ooh. Oh no.
Hmm. He'll be back.
Is my internet working okay, Omashar?
No, it was really spotty there. It's come back now, but it was really spotty. We only heard a third of what you said in the last 4 or 5 minutes. It's
Oh my gosh, how bad was it?
no, it was we didn't really hear much. We could just feel your love. I know it was quite a deep sharing, but you're frozen.
Well,
right?
while I try.
Your picture's gone, Scott, too.
Yeah, you know what? Maria, why don't you from the audience while we see what's happening with my.
That sounds great, Scott. And it's just so great to have everyone here today. And I know we're just going to send all the twinkles over to Scott as he repairs his internet issue. And meanwhile, I just wanted to say, Omashar, that song was incredible. And actually, Sage had an incredible comment. The rhythm of this music was so soothing, like water flow on the water of life. Thank you, Omashar. So that was
it's my pleasure, and yeah, I love creating backing tracks, and I would call it my music, but I first heard that song, By Thy Grace. Snatum Kaur, a Sikh, was the one that she has a beautiful version of it. She's got a voice of an angel, and so I took that and made it not my own, but our own. Yeah.
Well, she's the only one I've ever heard sing that song, Omashar. So is she the original writer of that song, or what is the origination of it?
I don't know. I guess I could look into it, but it doesn't really matter. So sometimes you feel with some people like me, if you take my music and put it out in the world, please do it. There's no copyright except copy it right. And so I feel the same about this. It's a universal song. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I loved Omashar's version of it. And, that brings me to another concept that I think is so important as we step into this whole new world, and the way of being now is shifting away from that competition. And Omashar, what a great example that we can all take something and bring our own version of it to the world. I have a coach that I worked with over the last year. And one of the reasons I said yes to her coaching program was because she said, I want you to be able to take my work and put your own fingerprint on it and take it to the world in your own version. And I've had other coaches in the past that, you had to pay a lot of money or do all these different things in order to get access to teach that same work. And so I really resonated with that whole concept of us being able to know that it's all God, right? It's all love, it's all God, and we get to put our own signature on everything. So now we no longer have to say, that's mine, that's yours, and put this separation. Instead, we can all bring our own unique signature to beautiful messages, music, teachings, etc. So that was a beautiful segue just from that I know was meant to be shared here today. And I think in the spirit of sharing, I also just have seen a few beautiful comments in the chat. And Reverend Jeffrey, what would the awakening world be without Omashar? Such appreciation. And there was also a few things earlier on just about the awakening world and what this has meant to our beautiful tribe since the beginning. Tabitha sharing, I've really enjoyed the incredible resources for healing and expansion, the laughs at the unexpectedly candid moments, the tangibility of connecting with such wonderful people here, the music, and the variety of topics. And then Bonnie and Roger and I have looked forward to the Global Peace Tribe as our spiritual lifeline from the very start. Thank you to Scott and those all involved. We are so grateful for the way you continue to enrich our lives. And let's see if there was anything else here. beautiful morning meditation. And Reverend Jeffrey also saying we live in a connected universe, but if we do not have a place to connect, how are we going to experience our connection with each other without places like this, led by the amazing Scott, that holds us together with his love? So thank you so much to everyone for bringing your thoughts and love. And, I shared a bit of that at the beginning. In the last 10 years, I've really worked on my personal skills as a spiritual advisor, a psychic medium, an energy healer, a transformation coach, a sound healer, all these different skills coming to the world. But I also had a lot of reservations about bringing those skills public. I was very much working by word of mouth, by referral, and not bringing my voice to the world, certainly not co-hosting a show like The Awakening World. So I just want to also acknowledge that The Awakening World and what Scott has created here has allowed so many amazing people, gifted people with abilities to come forward, to have a place that's safe to speak about their gifts, their abilities. And to, for me, it was really great practice. And now I'm seeing myself so much more comfortable sharing my abilities and gifts in other places and on other platforms as well. So that is all a result of being able to come on and be a guest here on The Awakening World last June. I think it was June 4th or 5th, when Tangela brought a group of us from Soul Search here to The Awakening World to be featured with Scott. And, that I remember Scott saying that he last summer really wanted to bring forward newer spiritual teachers into The Awakening World, to bring their gifts forward, and also for, a lot of those of us who are newer in speaking our gifts forward to the platform. So what a gift that was for me to receive. And I just welcome anyone else's thoughts, or Omashar, do you have any comments on that topic? And it looks like we also have Scott back with us.
We do have Scott back with us, and my comment is hooray! It's
Okay.
like, I think, hello?
Yeah, and thank you, Maria and Omashar, for covering.
Maria's a champion. She's getting her groove on. So
Yeah, well, both of you, you guys did a great job last week doing the show together, and it's beautiful to have a team and to be able to count on. And how's my internet now? Am I good?
it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're still clear now, Scott.
All right.
So Scott, we just went ahead while you were getting that repaired. We went over some of the incredible comments in the chat. We talked a little bit about the topic of collaboration and how we all bring different beautiful ideas together. But in here, there was a comment about Omashar and his song, and that he was inspired by Snatam Kaur with that song, and how we can all put our own signature on different teachings or music and bring our own signature to the world. So that was something beautiful that I thought we could bring to this morning. So I don't know if either of you have comments on that, but I'd love to continue the conversation. And I know, Scott, you have many beautiful clips you'd like to share this morning as well.
Yeah, well, I came in as I was hearing Maria talking about the choice that I made to feature more people that are not so famous. When we were doing Saturday Night Alive, when it first started, one of the miracles was all of a sudden we were able to get Deepak Chopra and Marianne Williamson and Michael Beckwith and, Greg Braden and people that are pretty hard to get a hold of, because everybody was at home on Saturday night. We were all in lockdown. And so that was one of the great miracles. And so every week we would have several amazing best-selling authors and luminaries on Saturday Night Alive. And then, of course, as time evolved and the lockdown let go and social distancing stopped, people were eager to go out. But by that time, all of you had discovered the Global Peace Tribe. And whereas originally we thought we were just going to do it for a few weeks or a few months, however long the pandemic was, here we are 3 years later, and we've continued because of all of you and because of this core group that's founded. So thank you, everybody. And let's grow it. Let's continue to grow let's grow our Global Peace Tribe. So I am going to show a couple of clips. And by the way, Reverend Jeffrey, I'm going to read what Jeffrey, and Jeffrey, thank you so much for your amazing contributions. Jeffrey is one of those people who is almost always here. There he is. He's one of the people that, along with Eleanor Troy and Adara, are dancing every week. And he writes, "We are excited that Humanities Team is now linked up with the Awakening World. Humanities Team is a great place to support Levolution and the best place to explore forbidden science with Nassim Haramein and Greg Braden, the best science now on Earth." Absolutely. So everybody, let's start focusing on humanitiesteam.org. They're carrying all of our shows now, and they have amazing videos. And Steve Farrell, the founder of Humanities Team, we were together in Sedona a few weeks ago, and that's when we said, "Scott, we want to start carrying your show every week." And that's how it happened. And he's going to be a guest on the show. We've got him booked sometime in a few weeks where he's announcing the start of his book. Jeffrey, love you. Thank you so much for all of your comments. And remember, Jeffrey, Levolution is the solution. All right.
Share the word Levolution. It's a great word and it's free to all.
Absolutely. Yeah. Here, go ahead and say it again. I'll put you on camera.
Okay. Yes, Levolution is the solution, and it's a wonderful word that connects all of us. Everyone is doing their Levolution work, each group, each thing, and it all is tied in together as part of the greater Levolution of both the universe and our planet.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you so much. Well, you know, Krista Morea, one of the wonderful people who is bringing Levolution to our world is Jay Mayer. And I'm going to bring Jay on for a moment. Jay, of course, is the founder of Light Touch. And I'm going to bring his partner, Jan. I think she's still with us. There she is. And Jan and Jay were a huge part of the Global Peace Tribe. During the Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe days, they created every week wisdom jewels. Jay was our primary sponsor. He made sure that we did a lot of shows with Indigenous elders. And so welcome, Jay, Jan, you both are on camera, just so you know. I would love for you to share a little bit about how you use Light Touch in your relationship. And then maybe we could all do a little bit of Light Touch together today. And then I definitely want to share some clips. But Jay and Jan, what would you like to share about Light Touch?
Well, welcome to Sacred Sunday. It's always good to be here. Light Touch it's just prayer. You know, really, you know, it's a different way to pray, and different and new can be a good thing. You know, we're energy has properties, magnetic properties. And the principle of Light Touch is that you're activating an energy principle in your body, you know, by touching yourself, that's energy. Everything is energy. So when you add a request, you know, if you touch yourself and you ask for everyone to be blessed, it creates a magnetic event that activates the law of attraction. So, you know, we do it when we go to sleep at night. You know, thank you for divine love in my finances, or miracles with my health, or thank you for blessing Scott's show. You know, it's wonderful to pray for others. You know, that adds much more power and depth and blessings. And, you know, I use it for my relationship and all my relationships, because if everyone in your life's not blessed, you know, you'll see that doesn't feel like you're truly blessed. So we bless each other a lot. And, you know, if things ever go south, it's usually because we haven't done too much inner work. Call it blessings. Maybe Jan would like to say something.
Well, we love it because, you know, we might as well use the power of magical thinking to activate, you know, our prayers and our blessings. And so, you know, we, you know, in terms of activating and magnetizing to ourselves the world and the relationships and what it is that we want by using light touch. We're able to use the sensation to, some people could be using breathing, it can be very subtle, or it can be also, as magnificent as you want it to be, using, a feather or your hands, or just, praying and blessing for each other is just a really powerful way to raise your frequency and stay in that power throughout the day. It's just a nice reminder, using light touch, that we're praying and we're blessing for others. And it encompasses a lot, and we're really happy to share it here with everybody. So, and I know a lot of people are familiar with it who are on the show, so it's wonderful.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jan. And I know Omashar does light touch. So Omashar, would you be willing to share a little bit about your experience with it?
For me, it really brings me into myself. And I've noticed how unkind I have been to myself over the last few years, not consciously or intentionally. When I started doing light touch and actually started touching myself and starting to dare to love myself. I'm not saying I don't love myself, but I realized the disparity between where I was then and where I am now. And so it's brought me more into my body, basically. And from that, when I'm more centered, it's much more easy to think of prayers, for instance, for others, and know that you're blessing others as well. And then when they're reflected back to you, then we have the 10 by 10 by 10 by 10 principle. So yeah, that's mine for now.
Beautiful. Well, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to play a brief light touch commercial. And then everybody, when Omashar does his closing song, we're going to practice light touch. But here's just a quick little light touch commercial. And then I want to show some video clips. Also, I see that Zasha is with us. And a week from today, I should say, we have a really special show with Zasha. So Zasha, be prepared, because I'm going to bring you on to talk about what we're going to be doing next week. But for right now, here's just a little bit of a taste of light touch. Light touch is a wonderful way to bring both emotional and physical intimacy into our relationships. Light touch is also a wonderful way for us to attract or magnetize what we are wanting. It's simple and it's powerful. It's become a very important part of Love Coach Academy, and we share it with couples all over the world. So let's all remember to practice light touch. And you can do light touch even with your puppy. This is my light touch partner. So that works out pretty well. And
Scott, if you could spotlight me, I have something to share with light touch as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so in January, I was a member of a class. It was a master class, and one of the principles was about touch and self-touch. So the teacher taught us to draw hearts in our palm to remind ourselves of our self-love. And of course, there's so many nerve endings on the palm. So it's also beautiful to do for anyone that is close to you that you love. And sometimes I found myself too, remembering that when I leave somebody and I know I'm not going to see them for a while, instead of a hug, well, in addition to a hug, I'll say, hold out your hand, and I'll draw a heart in their hand and then press it to their heart in remembrance of my love and gratitude for them. So that was something new that I've just been doing in the last few months that I wanted to share here with the tribe.
That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for that. Gosh. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a couple of video clips. And these are back when I decided to shift and call everything the awakening world. I asked some of our favorite luminaries to share what the awakening world meant to them. And so this is what Marianne Williamson had to say about the awakening world.
A Course in Miracles tells us that the world is a dream. And in our dream state, we have fallen into a nightmare. A lot of us think, well, if only we could awaken. But the Course in Miracles says you can't go from the nightmare to awakening. You have to go from the bad dream to the happy dream. The happy dream is the awakening world. We're in the process of awakening. The bad dream becomes a happy dream. A planet that is infused with so many warlike situations, people killing each other, atrocities, becomes a world in which war is merely a memory. A planet in which there is so much unnecessary suffering becomes a world in which there is no unnecessary suffering. A world in which 12,000 children die every day of starvation becomes a world in which all are fed, in which all have enough because we have used so wisely and compassionately the resources of this planet. A world in which laughter and love and song and forgiveness and dancing and merriment is the dominant human experience. Once we get there, once we're a happy dream, then we will awaken and we'll be beyond form altogether.
Thank you so much, Marianne, for your incredible contribution to
Thank
helping
you.
us truly become an awakening world.
Thank you. It's wonderful working with you.
Love Marianne. And as I mentioned last night, I am now talking with Marianne's people about doing an entire show with her, where she can hopefully share her platform now that she's running for president again. Here is what Andrew Harvey had to say about the awakening world.
Hello, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled to celebrate the awakening world and Scott Katimus's new formulation of his wild and holy adventure beginning next year. What more wonderful title could we have for that adventure than the awakening world? And aren't we all going to need to be constantly reminded that there is a world awakening and being born in the middle of all of this massive apocalyptic destruction? We're going to need it like oxygen, and I cannot think of a more honorable and decent person to help us awaken to that awakening world than my old buddy and co-conspirator, Scott Katimus. And in the new year, Scott and I are going to do a whole program for you, a whole transmission for you on sacred inspiration, because it's my experience, and I know it's Scott's too, that in a dark time, what we all need more than oxygen is sacred inspiration to keep us alive to our true selves and energized by divine love and given the courage to put love into action to become midwives of this awakening world.
I love Andrew Harvey, and I love what he said. You know, it's really true, and he kind of nailed it. That's why I call this the awakening world, and it is all about inspiration. I'm going to show one more video, and this one's a little bit longer, and it's with Matt Kahn. And a lot of us had the joy, Maria and I were with Matt Kahn at the Conscious Life Living Expo a few weeks ago. In fact, some of us had lunch with him, and he's just a delightful human being. He, of course, has been on the show many, many times. This is a longer video, but it's really beautiful what he has to say. And then we're going to hear from Zasha, who's with us live, and Connie and Andrew, who are with us live, and a special poem from Andrew Kane, who's with us in the Zoom room as well. Maria, definitely, I also would love to go to you after this video from Matt to hear some more comments coming in the chat box. But let's hear what our old friend Matt Kahn has to say. And so, Matt, thank you again for all the books, all the YouTube videos that you've created, all the travels and the lectures, all the ways that you also have helped light the way for us. And thank you for being with us tonight.
Well, thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be here with all of you. And if this is the first time that we are connecting, what I offer is a transmission of healing energy, and it comes through the sound of my voice and through the gaze that comes through eye contact. And I offer it to the world because we're at a point in history where it's not just about the big and bold ideas that we consider, but to actually feel the direct experience that this awakening consciousness is bringing to all. When we reflect, or at least when I reflect over the last 2 years, I went through an extraordinary experience that in some ways was some of the toughest times in my life. I had experienced many awakenings throughout my life, and over the last 2 years, I found myself going through an unexpected experience of coming back fully into the body I had previously woken up from. And in going through an experience of integration, I was so humbled and blessed to experience what I look at as perhaps the next stage beyond awakening, the stage of embodiment. And so as I transmit with all of us tonight, I want to boldly offer this invitation. The invitation that in the new paradigm, the way we raise our vibration is by praising our vibration. And that just as much as we are all way showers and anchors of light, and we are living in a world where the collective aspect of humanity is just discovering unity consciousness, or awakening out of the limitations of individual perception and realizing the interconnectedness that unites us as one. But what I find equally fascinating is also what are the beings who already have that spiritual orientation? What's their awakening? Because there's no such thing as a spiritual being waiting for the world to get its act together. And just as much as there are beings who are going through a process of existentially erasing the line between individual and collective, we equally as spiritually oriented beings are undergoing a process of erasing any perception of separation between spiritual and the personal. And so when we praise our vibration, like I often talk about in Whatever Arises, Love That, it is not love instead of fear. In the new paradigm, it is loving the one who hides in fear. It is not love instead of sadness, but using the love to embrace the sadness within us so that when we're in the presence of another being who is sad, we have practiced making such peace and such a connection of friendship and intimacy with our own emotions that we can actually hold space for the healings occurring in those who are manifested in our direction. And as spiritual beings, this is a time to erase any imagined barriers between the human experience, the personal experience, and the spiritual reality. We are not waking up out of being a person to hide in higher dimensions. We are bringing our higher dimensional consciousness into the physical form as a gateway that brings unity consciousness into this world. So we can begin collaborating, connecting, and recreating the infrastructure of this world from the inside out, all anchored at the vibration of love. To think about raising a vibration suggests that I'm going to lift my energy above a lower vibration to stay in the higher vibration. And so many beings have the misfortune of then blaming someone who bumped them out of their higher vibrational experience. But when we so boldly praise our vibration as a means of raising our vibration, we are taking the higher aspects of our infinite intelligence the glory and radiance of our eternal hearts. And we are embracing every wound. We're consoling every fear. And we are allowing ourselves to go through a living experience of alchemy, where we are living embodied agents of transformation that watch the work of art of the universe come alive within us when we love ourselves in response to whatever experience arises. We are no longer on paths assuming or trying to do any amount of spiritual work to get out of certain experiences. We accept from a space of surrendered resolve that every experience that we are having is not a sign of what you haven't worked on, looked at, or processed, or traced back to a past experience. For all of the memories that live in the cells of our bodies are one with the pain the world is still learning to face. And as we love in ourselves what arises spontaneously in experience, we are loosening the collective density that allows the world to find safety, to come out of hiding, and to find the ability to connect heart to heart, and to bask in the glory of true intimacy without the fear of being annihilated by an awakening consciousness that is only intimidating when we hide in our egos and turn away from this invitation to become one with the love that we are. And as I personally reflect on the last few years of what has happened as I've come into the state of embodiment, what was important before has become impeccably important now. My service to humanity is not limited to the books I write, to the YouTube videos that have become popular, to this moment where I'm transmitting with you. My offering to humanity is the artistry of my personal conduct, where in every breath, the most important thing in my entire life is that I am giving anyone that enters my presence a course corrective experience of my gender, a course corrective experience of my race, a course corrective experience of my consciousness, and a course corrective experience of my form. For it is my greatest desire to not assume I know anything about the experiences of anyone's journey, so that I have so much to learn in listening to the unique testimony of every human being. And if they have been negatively affected, or anyone in their ancestry has been affected by the race my body expresses, by the gender my body reflects, by the consciousness I embody, or the form that I remind them of, it is my living duty and service as a heart-centered way shower of unity consciousness to be the difference of experience that allows this world to unite as one, and to do so in the name of love, as we as spiritual beings unite the personal with the spiritual. If we will raise our vibration, let us do so by praising our vibration, and let us love ourselves, connect with others, and face a world of uncertainty as the love that we are.
Boom.
Boom.
That's a big boom.
Thank you. And just really quickly, I just want to say that it is my living testimony, my awareness, and my suggestion that there is a way in which we can resolve every degree of unprocessed pain and darkness, but from the most loving standpoint, because that's the difference between consciousness and unconsciousness. And there is a way, as Neil so eloquently talked about, pure love. And then, of course, here is the follow-up, and we are all here to learn the new way of being. So, and again, Scott and Deborah, both thank you so much for this invitation.
Oh, Matt, thank you so much for being with us. And Matt's going to be back on The Awakening World on Saturday night. That was from last year's anniversary show, exactly 1 year ago. It's listening to the Twin Ray meditation this morning, and then what Marianne said and what Matt just said, which is those three pieces alone, one could listen to every day and just commit to practicing, because it's all right there. I mean, there's just so much wisdom and just so much profound truth right there. Maria, I would love to hear your thoughts and reflections. And I know you got to spend time with Matt a few weeks ago.
I did, both at the Sedona Ascension Retreat, as I was the keynote speaker ambassador at that particular event, and then also just at the New Living Expo, right? So, I really love what he had to say about, the next phase of awakenings is embodiment. And when he talks about his commitment to that embodiment, what an incredible example. Of course, I had never met him in person. And sometimes when you meet people who are keynote speakers or, they're the important person on the stage, you don't really know what that experience is going to be. And so with Matt, wow, just the way I saw him not only integrate and interact, with the leadership team of the events, but also with all of the attendees of the event, just being one with every single person, being his candid self, but being, approachable and fun. It just really warmed my heart to see that level of leadership in being so connected to each person and wanting everyone to have that experience with him. I think was exactly what he was just talking about, is that importance of that embodiment and being true to himself. And, we see that of so many here in this community as well, just seeing each person as each other and, loving them, as the love that they are. So that's been my experience. And I'm really just grateful that we have such incredible leaders and teachers that are not only speaking this word, but are actually being in integrity with who they say they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matt, a fun story about Matt. When I got to the Conscious Life Expo a few weeks ago, I was walking up to get my pass and I hear, "Hey, hi, Scott." And I look and there was Matt. And it was like literally my first minute at the expo, and he came over and we took a little selfie. And it's true, he wandered around all 3 days, interacted with everybody. There was no, I'm the great Matt Kahn, but he was like just another guy connecting with all of us. It was really quite beautiful, really quite beautiful. Maria, I know that you are about to leave. You would let me know you were only available till 11. It is now 11:11. It's a sign from God. But I do want to acknowledge you because you've become a really important part of the Global Peace Tribe. And I hope you'll come back and co-host with me some more over the next few months. And I want to remind people that you can get wonderful support from Maria. And a great way to find her is on Soul Search. Of course, we had Tangela on the show last night. And Maria, I met you through Soul Search. And she's a wonderful coach to work with. She's a psychic and a medium and a healer. So you can learn all about her on her Soul Search profile. And I'll put that in the chat box. And Maria, can you tell our audience a little bit more about what your current offerings are?
Sure. If you go onto my Soul Search profile, which Scott's going to put in the chat, there is an opportunity for you to learn more about my services and offerings as a psychic medium, coach, healer, an advisor in the spiritual world. But what I am offering anybody is just a free exploratory call. You'll see that there, and it always includes a mini reading or healing so you can experience what it's like to, connect with me and work with me. And then the other thing that we're currently doing is my work around epigenetics. As a certified epigenetic health coach, I'm bringing forward our company, Humanami, which means the limitless human. There's always another level or layer to go in our evolution and our expression. So we want to provide some education around this topic because it's really a buzzword, in the health world, in the spiritual world right now. And I think I'm finding that there's a lot of confusion around it. Like, how does this actually apply to me? And what does it mean for me and my health? So Carrie Bailey, who accompanied me this past Wednesday on the show, is going to provide this incredible morning on Saturday, May 20th. We're going to have a couple hours together where we're going to be giving everyone a mini course around epigenetics, from nutrition to transgenerational genetics, spiritual epigenetics, endocannabinoid epigenetics. So if you want to learn more about that, register. It's free. We want to just provide this education, and we're excited about creating a foundation of education for Humanami to bring forth to the world for people to have an understanding about how this can help them up-level their health and their ultimate expression. Thank you so much, Scott. Did we lose Scott?
I was pulling up I was pulling up the show that you did last Wednesday night. And
great.
in the chat box, for any of you who missed it, she did a terrific show about epigenetics. So just put into the chat box the link to that show. And of course, we'll send it out on Monday, along with the links to all of our other shows. And when I was pulling up the link, it started to play, and I muted myself. So that's what that was all about.
Well, thanks for sharing that. And it's been a pleasure to be here today and to be with everyone again. Thank you.
And again, everybody go to her webpage. Again, it's Human AMI. So the words are human and then AMI.com. And definitely put in your email address, your phone number, register to learn about this free course that she's offering, which is then going to have a follow-up. And I know you've got a big day ahead of you. Thank you, Maria, for starting your morning with us, and much love to you. Thank you so much for being with us.
What a gift to be here. Thank you to you, Scott, Omashar, and everyone here in the Awakening World. Have a great day.
Well, I've got some wonderful guests who are here with us. I'm going to go to Andrew and Connie in a moment. But I also am going to bring on my friend Zasha. And Zasha is somebody that I recently met. She's an extraordinary woman who has an amazing background, everything from law to being an activist. And she does everything with a great deal of passion. We had fun. We traveled in an RV with our friend Baba Dez, did a show together. And Zasha, you are doing really beautiful work in mentorship. And of course, next week, a week from today on Sunday, our show is going to be all about that work that you're doing. And I'll pull up the poster for a moment. Please remember, yeah, you're unmuted, good. So this is going to be the show. And really, these are all people that Zasha is bringing on board that are mentors and mentees, people from different generations, different cultures. And it's so important. And it's a big part of what I want to create with the Awakening World is for people to first expand out, to have younger people, people of different cultures. And so Zasha, welcome, and tell us a little bit about the work that you're doing with WET and what WET is.
Thank you, Scott. WET is a beautiful culmination of some of the ventures of my life, which you mentioned, law, activism, and also actually psychotherapy and trauma work and trauma healing, because we're dealing with people who are coming from systems of oppressions in the world, and those systems are effectively built upon traumatizing the population at large. That's how social control is maintained. So trauma healing becomes a very fundamental part of liberating consciousness from control and oppression. So at WET, we are trying to do that by taking people who are waking up, sort of in that process of awakening, where they're feeling the call to venture out from the regressive, limited sort of framework that they have been brainwashed with. And they can feel there's something more. They want more love in their life. They want more connection. They want a beautiful world to live in. And so those are the beings that find us, and we mentor them. And then they are so that they can attend trainings in the world that are based on liberation, freedom, love, And yeah, so those beautiful beings go through that process, then they return home and implement a community empowerment project where the teachings that they have received and benefited from, they spread in their local communities. So this way, we're sort of seeding these transmissions into the darkest parts of the world and hoping that as time goes by, like those infusions start to become strong trees of change.
I love that. Thank you. And, Zasha, you've had a fascinating life. From Pakistan, you've experienced the darkest sides of life in terms of some of the experiences that you've gone through. And yet you continue to see hope and inspiration and to work to make this world a better place. And I so appreciate how you choose to see things through a hopeful, loving lens and to find those seeds and nourish them to grow into beautiful trees. And I'm really looking forward to our audience getting to know you. So all next Sunday, it's going to be Zasha and her friends. Thank you so much for being a part of our awakening world.
Thank you so much, Scott, and for everything that you're doing. It is such beautiful magic to be a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you. But, Zasha represents the next generation, the younger generation that I'm so excited about bringing in. And then she's going to bring in people younger than herself. But I want to go to another generation that's a big part of Global Peace Tribe. And it's an older generation, but it's Connie and Andrew, who are, again, just such beloveds. And Connie, thank you so much for all the help you've been giving. A lot of the editing work that Connie's been doing for us has been really helpful. And her beloved partner, Andrew, the newlyweds, they got married last December. And of course, we've been kind of following their relationship and their marriage. But I've just recently learned about, really understood what they're doing with the trust frequency. They spoke and taught at our Global Peace Tribe retreat in LA. And I'd love to turn it over to the two of you to share a little bit about the wonderful work that you're doing.
Thank you, Scott. I'm going to hand it over to Connie in a second, but I just want to honor Zasha. Zasha, when you spoke on that evening with Scott, I saw you in a film that we are making called In Search of the Future. And as the representative of the change that needs to occur with my gender's relationship with your gender, I just wanted to say that. And I know you're in Australia. The film opens in Australia, so we hope to come there at the end of this year. So, Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, so thank you, Scott, and thank you for bringing forth the trust frequency and our 10 assumptions from LA, from the not the LA Convergence, and the new Conscious Life Expo, and for really grokking them, because this construct on the nature of the universe that we've come to through indigenous cosmology and unified science, unified physics, a combination of those two that we're giving a construct on the nature of the universe that helps people to get to those places Marianne was talking about, Matt was talking about, everyone's talking about. It's on our lips now because we're on the verge of accessing that frequency, that happy, what did Marianne call it? That happy party or that happy dream, right? And she described what it looks like in that happy dream. Well, that's in a higher frequency. That exists. It is a given in a higher frequency where we're headed as we open our hearts and as we align with our hearts and as the new science, the new physics is taking us there, because it's showing us what the indigenous people have known forever and lived, their shamanic people have lived forever, and that is that connectedness to not only the sacredness and oneness of all life, but of the embodiment of it, the not just knowing it, but living it, traveling interdimensionally, walking around inside eyeballs. Wallace Blackout talked to me about, his life. I saw through him what's possible and where we're going. And you with this show, you're just highlighting all that information to give people that courage to go there, you know, to live it, to be it. And Zasha with what she's doing, stepping forward in such a brave way to really catalyze that shift. So it's just very exciting, Scott, that you've gone there and you've seen the importance of what we're bringing with this construct. And it also takes us beyond duality, because to get into that frequency, we have to get out of victim consciousness, which Eden was talking about last night. You know, big time. She said, hey, you know, as soon as I let go of that victim, my life changed. My life totally was transformed, letting go of victim consciousness, which is huge, because that's going beyond duality, beyond right, wrong, good, evil, victim, perpetrator. It's a huge leap, but until we do that, we're still going to be in that vibration of what Andrew calls judgment, you know, judging one thing is good and one thing is bad, you know, that thing. But also that victim, perpetrator, good, evil, right, wrong. So you want to add anything to that?
I could add a lot to
You
it.
can add a lot, but we don't want to take too much time.
What
Tell us how people can learn more about the trust frequency.
upcoming events, Scott? Connie?
Yeah, so we're Humanity Rising is featuring us on May 11th on their show that they have every day. And one can go to humanityrising.solutions to register for their daily show and to see the upcoming shows, which we're not listed there yet because I haven't gotten them the information about what we're doing.
But it'll be up in a couple of days.
Yeah, and it's going to be the trust frequency within the context of indigenous cosmology and the new physics, the unified physics, to show that where the trust frequency has come from, this construct. And one can go to our website, thetrustfrequency.net. And we also have a free ebook called The Conscious Loving Universe, a Guidebook, which one can get on our website.
And the price is right.
And the price is right.
What's it?
It's free.
Ah, that's a good price.
And one can also take our course, our online course called The Dance of Souls, the Relationship Revolution, which is what you deal with, Scott, all the time, is the relationship. And our course is so complementary to your work, going into those shadow places, those parts of ourselves we don't love yet, and learning what it's all about, that all the relationships in our lives have shown up for us to show us our light and our shadow. And then the defense mechanisms we've put in place to not show anybody our shadow, you know, working through that stuff so that we bring ourselves, our whole selves to the party, not just the parts of ourselves we think mom, dad, the culture, etc. want to bring. And that's accessible on our website as well. So
the other show, aside from yours, Scott, is Humanity Rising. I'm in awe of that program. Comes out of Ubiquity University. It pulls together extraordinary individuals, not necessarily on the spiritual realm, very often political, very often confronting very, very serious issues, the Ukraine war, stuff like that. Extraordinary. And we are so honored to be invited on May 11th. And Connie, we've got something else coming up toward the end of the month, and that is a 3-day event.
yeah, we have
Hold on. So this is going a little fast.
humanityrising.solutions.
Right. So here's humanityrising.org. We can learn about it.
No, that's not it.
So humanityrising.solutions.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's see if I'm opening that up correctly. Here it is. Okay, let's try that again. There we go.
It's Jim Garrison.
There you
Yeah,
go.
here we go.
Humanity Rising, part of Ubiquity University, a Global Solutions Summit. It's extraordinary, friends. Check it out every morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time for an hour and a half. It's really, really powerful.
Really powerful. And it's so complementary to your work, Scott, because it's very solution oriented on the high vibration. It addresses what's real. I mean, no, I'm not saying that this reality is real. It's addressing what's here, but with a high vibration, so it doesn't focus there and go down. It focuses and goes up with indigenous people, with the major thinkers of our time, and so
a number of whom, along with you, Scott, are going to be in our forthcoming film.
yeah, exactly. And so Jim Garrison has offered us a 3-day forum at the end of the month on America, the evolution of America from the founding origin of the Mayflower Pilgrims and the Native Americans living in peace and friendship for 50 years, which we call the first great synthesis. And the second great synthesis being when the aspects of the Great Law came into our Constitution. So we're showing the role of the Native American in the evolution of the American mind, spirit, and democracy.
What is the Great Law? There are those who might
The
not
Great
know.
Law of the Iroquois is when the great peacemaker came to the warring tribes of the Iroquois and brought a new way of being, a new way of seeing, a new governance model. And our Constitution reflects that governance model. It's a synthesis of that and various aspects that came out of European thinking.
And now the third great synthesis, where we finally get together in a quantum leaping manner.
Yeah, with this new science is taking us into the third great synthesis, where we align with indigenous values, that those values of the higher power, of the oneness and sacredness of all life, of sharing. We were just talking about possessions earlier. Imagine no possessions. Well, guess what? when there's more in a higher frequency, when there's more than we have more than we can fathom, we don't have to hoard. We don't have to keep stuff. And in the Native way, you give stuff away. You just give it away. If somebody likes my necklace, oh, you do? Well, it must be your turn. Here it is. So anyway, we'll let it go at that.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of that. And one more time, here is just to focus a little bit on Humanity Rising. I put it into the chat box, humanityrising.solutions. And they do every day have a wonderful way to start.
Every weekday. Mhm.
Every weekday, Monday through Friday. Connie and Andrew, I know you will be on the show many, 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 many times in the future. Thank you for being with us on this Sacred Sunday.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Scott. We love you.
Thank you.
Every week, Reverend Jeffrey reminds us that Lovolution is the solution and reminds us about the Resonance Science Foundation. So I do want to take a moment to go to that website. It is a great place to really learn about what so many of our teachers and Connie and Andrew just now were talking about, which is how science and spirituality are coming together. Ancient wisdom is coming together with our most modern science, whether it's indigenous wisdom or even going way back to what all the great master teachers taught, that there is only one consciousness. We in science call it the unified field, but it had many, many names. Rumi called it the eternal beloved. Jesus called it, his Father. So we all have different ways of seeing, but it's all coming together, this one profound truth. And we hear it from the Twin Ray, we hear it from Matt Kahn, we hear it from Marianne, and now it's our job to live it. And I really like how Matt reminded us that we must live it through embodiment. It's not about meditating so we can just get out of our body. It's about, while we have the beauty of this beautiful, amazing body temple, to live it through unconditional love, to live it through compassionately seeking to understand everybody, not just the people who are saying what we want to hear. So along with that, I think it's time for some more music. And so I'm going to play one of my absolute favorite videos. It was, and those of you that are regulars have seen it before, but it's a perfect one for me to show on an anniversary show. We all love the Beatles, but all you need is love wasn't quite accurate. We need more than love. We need to do everything with love. So I asked Johanna Beekman to take my twist on the Beatles song and to create a song called do everything with love, which she did. And then I've added images of some of our favorite luminaries that have been on the show. So I really enjoy this one a lot. So it's my pleasure to share with you everything with love. And a big thank you and shout out to Johanna Beekman. She has become one of, like Kristen and Cornflower, one of our favorite people that's a regular on the show. She did a great job with this song, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Love, 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 love. Love is everything. Love is everything. Love, 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 love. Love, love, love. Love, 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 love. Love, love, love. Oh, oh, oh. Nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Do everything with love. Do everything with love. Do everything with love. Love. Love is everything. Nothing you can make that can't be made. Nothing you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. Yeah. Do everything with love. Do everything with love. Do everything with love. Love. Love is everything. Love is everything. Love is everything. Yeah. Love is everything. Love is everything.
I love that video. I just love that. Great job. Thank you, Johanna, so much for that. Andrew Kane is a new friend to Global Peace Tribe. I guess he's been watching this show for quite a while, but I just recently met him when he came to our Los Angeles Global Peace Tribe retreat. And he was pretty quiet through the retreat, but then at the end he said, well, could I share a poem? And I said, sure, and it was beautiful. And so I've asked Andrew to come back on today and to share a poem with us. So Andrew, welcome to the Awakening World.
Thank you and happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. Tell us about the poem you're going to share.
The poem is called Dream a Dream Come True.
Okay, take it away.
Okay. I dream a dream where my reality is the width of my fantasies, where there are no limits, no doubts, full of love and gratitude, to let go of what was and open a new chamber for growth, expansion, and manifestation of my highest intent, to share my dreams with the world, where my reality is but a whiff of my fantasies everlasting, where no limits apply and all boundaries are met, with circumstances and compassion. Manifestation of my highest intent is to share my deepest dreams for heaven on earth materialized, where oneness is one for all and unity is in all communities across the great divide, connecting all land to see that indeed we are all one, connected to the Heart Mother, beating as one, to all living creatures and plants, water and land united, humans seeking the path of connection like never before. Time to spread our wings with our multidimensional selves, no limits, full throttle ahead. I dream a dream where my reality is a whiff of my fantasies, where there are no limits, full throttle ahead. Ahead like the sky is blue, like night and day, and sunshine and moonshine. Shine our lights with the light of the sun, and the light of the moon and stars, like the fire in the fireplace. Ignite our fire higher, our heart chakra is ready to expand and rejoice, to fill our souls with honey, sweeter than any taste you know of, finer than any grain of salt. The minerals and crystals speak to us. The waters of the world need love too. The trees need a hug. The animals and first peoples have been preaching this message for thousands of years, but we were sleeping. The sleeping giants awakened, and time at last for my dreams to come true. I dream a dream, and the time has come now. It is here to let go what was and be the light of the world. We each share the light, so let us shine on. Sweet diamond glory, shine on, shine on, shine on. Shine our light and be the light, the peace, the way to return home. Still breathing, keeping the dream alive. Welcome home, everyone. We are one. Aho and namaste. Thank you.
You rock, Andrew.
Thank you.
And you're muted, Scott.
I guess, Connie, Andrew, do you want to? Well, I guess not. I was gonna give you a chance. Anyway, thank you very much, Andrew. I'm going to put you spotlight on you. Let's all twinkle Andrew one more time for that beautiful, beautiful poem. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we are kind of winding down, and I'm going to just read some of the wonderful comments. And I had intended to read everybody's comments, and then my internet went out again, and doing our best. But I do want to read Connie and Andrew said about that, Andrew, that he's a special friend of ours, going all the way back to taking a course with Barbara Marx Hubbard. Dia writes, Saturday Night Alive, The Awakening World, Sacred Sundays have been for the past 3 years the sunshine and water on my life's soil. The fertility created allows me to receive fully the divine love, divine essence of the Twin Ray meditation, of Om Shar's opening sacred music, Marianne and Matt's expressions, my expressions, and all that we have on these shows. Maximum gratitude and love. Love is everything. Thank you, Dia. I mean, you kind of wrapped up the whole show in one beautiful paragraph. Thank you so much for that. Thank you very, very much. All right. Well, I think all things usually begin and end with Om Shar. And I think it's time for us to go to Om Shar for any of his final thoughts about today or 3 years, and then a closing song.
You know, I'd like to have some final thoughts. I'm over my mind. It thinks too much. And it just feels like being home, Scott. I really, you know, we've got to know each other, and all of the people in the tribe, and all these beautiful new friends that are coming in. And it's like we're all on a very similar page. And so we can speak openly to each other. We don't have to hold anything back, and we can be as outrageous and as glowing as we want, and you know, and as sad as we need to be. And nothing is held back here. And it's, you know, it's just even speaking in this way, my heart's vibrating and going, thank you for providing this platform and for being that great attractor of who you have attracted. And of course, as it exponentially grows, we all attract even more and even more and even more. And here we are. And I feel so blessed, Scott. And because of that, I'm going to sing a song called, well, it's actually a group singing song. It's called I Am So Blessed. And I'm going to put
But a reminder for everybody that we're going to be doing light touch while you play this. So, and
Thank
it's
you.
perfect that it's about blessings, because Jay always reminds us light touch is calling upon the angels, calling upon the blessings. I see Jay's back with us. So Jay, definitely make sure you're doing light touch so we can put the camera on you and watch how to do light touch. And
I'm going to put the very repetitive lyrics in the chat so you can sing along whilst you're doing light touch. And there they are. And hey, Jay. This is a slow movement. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. Okay, that's a rehearsal. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. If you sing with me, and we are so blessed, we are so blessed, we are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed, we are so blessed, we are so grateful, we are so blessed. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful. One more time. Let's do the we. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed. Are we not?
We are so blessed, so incredibly blessed. Thank you, beautiful Mushar.
Yeah.
Let's all twinkle on Mushar. He ended a little quicker than I thought. So,
well, I never know what's an appropriate length of time for group songs, and when I get bored, when I get a little bored with them, I go, okay, we're over. But funny though, when you sing a song, I felt the blessing of the audience. I felt the blessing of everybody. And, we're just so blessed to be in each other's presence. And I'm so grateful.
We are. Hey, I do want to show people what we've got coming up this week, because we've got 3 more great shows. What makes sex sacred? Well, we're going to talk about that on Wednesday night. It's a favorite topic of Trish. And we'll bring back Shashi Saluna, who's been teaching Tantra for 20 years. So that's going to be Wednesday night's show. And then a really beautiful show next Saturday night, all about angels, understanding and honoring our angelic forces. Jay teaches us to pray to the angels, and we're going to bring on people that channel the angels. We're going to bring on my friend Mandy Reese, who is the street angel, going into large stadiums and carrying signs, asking people to be kind. We've got great music, Omoshar, of course, but also a wonderful duo, For Fader, and then that amazing Vox Angelus. We've had Vox on a couple times recently, and she channels the Elohim, and it's a combination of music and sound that's powerful. And then we're going to wrap up next week, a week from today, with the show that we talked about a little bit earlier with Zasha. We are going to meet some of her next generation multicultural leaders, mentors, and mentees. So that's what we've got planned for next week. So it's going to be another wonderful show. Thank you, everybody, for being a big part of the Global Peace Tribe. And my request to celebrate 3 years is please invite more people onto the show. Have a house party or take some of your favorite shows or your favorite video clips and share them with people. Because my greatest joy are these shows, but my greatest pain is that there's only a few hundred people watching. And I want it to be a few thousand or many thousands. So let's all, be assertive. Let people know about these wonderful shows that we're doing. We really like to reach a larger audience. That's my prayer. So hold that vision, hold that prayer, and whatever you can do to get this out to more people, I would really be appreciative of that. All right. Thank you very much. Oh, and remember, we can make every day, every moment sacred by choosing to see the divinity in all. Have a beautiful Sacred Sunday, everybody. Much love. I'm going to go to Gallery of View one last time.